What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, I am Alex Sweat, back with another video to talk about Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero and Gameology making a terrible, horrible review game off of it. And I wanted to go over it with this video of Go Fury, who covered this video, and another one, but which is just a much shorter version, but definitely covers both talking points. But there's some things I do want to mention, so let's get into it.
Okay, so we have at the top.
So what Fury he's looking at right now, excuse me, he's looking at a screen of Gameology covered in the video, and it shows 4 games of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Raging Blast, top left, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, top right, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, at the bottom left, and Dragon Ball Burst Limit. Dragon Ball Raging Blast 1 and 2, and Burst Limit I played. Xenoverse 1, Xenoverse 2, never played. I don't understand, like, what's the point of Gameology showing this, but they weren't doing nobody any favors. I'll say that.
But that's Raging Blast. Bottom left, that's Universe 1. Bottom right that's Burst Limit. Right? Dang, it's been a minute since I saw Burst Limit. And top right, obviously, is Universe 2. What's the point here?
Does the gameplay look different? Faster?
Yeah.
First off, when people say about missing stuff about Dragon Ball, or is it Dragon Ball Z and the games that they haven't came out since 2001 or 2 up until now, I mean, how much more can they be different? I mean, because I think if when you just like Dragon Ball and it's Dragon Ball Z, you would automatically be cool and satisfied with the characters that you know and love, and extra DLC characters where you have to pay for, or if you don't have to pay for, that's already included in the game, like Sparkling Zero. But let's get back to this.
Smoother?
Sure.
Cleaner?
Yeah.
Closer to the source material?
Yeah.
Besides the graphics, it's almost impossible to tell. And that's a problem.
What do you mean?
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is looking to switch up the DBZ Arena Fighter formula. But the truth
No.
is...
And first off, right there, Dragon Ball Z Budokai and every single one up to Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2 have never been arena fighting games. And I even did my own info on this. Looking up Dragon Ball info. Some of the papers are ripping off, but let me just read this one. No, Dragon Ball RG Raging Blast 2 is a 3D fighting game, not an arena game. And I can even go further than that. No, Dragon Ball Budokai is not an arena fighter. Dragon Ball Budokai 2 and 3 Burst, Limit, Raging Blast, and even Xenoverse and Xenoverse Legends 2 are not arena fighting games. This is something I looked up on Google. And even when I looked up for Dragon Ball Budokai, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, it says no. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 or Tenkaichi is not an arena fighter, but is a fighting game with cell shaded graphics of how they made the game. And on another paper that I've written, and I got this information all from Google, you can look up yourself. Tenkaichi Raging Blast, Battle of Z, Xenoverse are not arena fighters. They just have a and this information I'm about to include talks about the next video and where he stops. But I'm just gonna mention this right now. They just have a over the shoulder 360 degree movement. Arena fighters would be something as Power Stone or Super Smash Bros, a game that we all know and love and grew up with. I played Super Smash Bros. with my best friend growing up, going over to his place. Him always beat my ass with Link. Okay, that's an Arena Fighters. I even looked up about Multiverse. That's a platform fighter game. So you try to even call any Dragon Ball Z back from the old 2000s up to now an arena fighting game, you're stupid as fuck, and that lets me know you're not even a real fucking Dragon Ball fan. And I ain't even trying to get disrespectful with it, but like you just not knowing this information and not even willing to look it up and do the research shows me you're not even a real fucking Dragon Ball fan. And at the end of the day, why does it matter if it's a 2D fighting game or an arena fighting game or a 3D fighting game? Most Dragon Ball fighting games, and I even saw as well researching, are mostly 2D or 2.5D to give off that image of, you know, the whole moving around. Because if you watch Dragon Ball Z, and I'm not just talking about Dragon Ball, but Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z Kai, and all the way up to Super, and the new Dragon Ball Diamond that's going to be coming out, you would know that all those fights, they try to show all the movement because it goes so fast and the naked eye can't catch it. But let's go on and continue with the video.
Fails to switch up the formula at all. There have been well over 100 titles in the DBZ franchise.
And if and when you know that, why in the fuck do we need to switch up the situation in the format? The format was working and it got all of those games sold out, but not sold out, but got enough customers and it got enough residual income coming in. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Sublime
fails to switch up the formula. Does he not know that this is literally a sequel to the Budokai Tenkaichi series?
And just to not to confirm what he's saying, I even looked up myself. It was right here the whole time. You know how in Google when it has like the extra question at the bottom, you click on it and you bring it down. One of the questions was, is Budokai Tenkaichi 4 official? 0 is the 4th official game in the Budokai Tenkaichi series. So basically this is Budokai Tenkaichi 4 if you want to say that, but it's just Sparkling Zero. They gave it a new name.
Switch up the formula for what?
Like I said.
It wouldn't be the same games if they switched up the formula. What's your point here? It's literally not a copy paste, but it's a sequel to the old series. They're
like I just said.
The wheel. That's the whole point of this game. That's why everybody's excited. What are you talking about?
Bro, weirding me out.
But when Dragon Ball started using a boilerplate arena fighter template back in 2002 with the introduction of Budokai,
and like I just said to you guys, I just made it official. Dragon Ball Z Budokai and none of the other Budokais that came out, even this one, is an arena fighting game. You can look this up on Google yourself with your iPhone phone and shit. But let's just go a little bit further.
Arena fighters.
And see, and this is the part that pisses me off about this video. Not the creator, but Gameology. Because you've never played Dragon Ball. You never played none of the Dragon Ball games. And the fact that you have Dragon Ball Legends up here. The fact that you got Dragon Ball Legends up here. That lets me know you never played. Dragon Ball Legends is a mobile phone game. It's for your phone. It's not for a console. What are you talking about, dude? That's basically just a fast fighting ninja cut game. Homie even says it. Not even trying to steal his words. But seriously, besides Xenoverse 1 and 2, I've played almost every single one. Maybe not Saga, because I don't remember that, but I played every single one. These aren't arena fighting games. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Stop. Please. Just stop. You got 2.2 million followers. Don't try to lose those. Like, what's going on?
And Dragon Ball Legends is in the shop. What are we talking about? This is a mobile game that you swear is pretty much Dragon Ball Fruit Ninja. And then he has fighters. Fighters is not a arena fighter.
It's not. Dragon Ball Fighters is not arena fighters. And I even look it up. Dragon Ball Fighters is not even an official canon. So, what?
Budokai is not an arena fighter. He has all three Budokai. Burst Limit is not an arena fighter.
None of them.
I've never played Super Battle. I don't think I played Dragon Ball Sagas. I played the Raging Blast Universe games, obviously.
Fans deserve better.
I agree with that statement. Yes, Dragon Ball Z fans do deserve better. And I think Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is that, in my personal opinion. But to each his own.
Full disclosure, I've been a
Listen, anybody that wants more for Dragon Ball fans, hey, I agree. We want more. We deserve better. Yeah, we're getting Blaze right now, bro. The most they can do right now is bring the show back. Bring Super back. That's what we want. So yeah, we deserve better. Sure, go ahead. Yeah, I'll take it. Appreciate you.
Ah, stop. Press the wrong button.
You one of them fighters.
Our sequel to the only transcendent Dragon Ball game over the last decade.
And he brings up Dragon Ball Fighters again, Fighter Z again, and I know, and I'm starting to get the vibe that you just probably favorite fighters, and that's cool. Do you? But I'm just official proof that not everybody plays Dragon Ball Fighters, nor can handle that fighting style. To be honest with you, I mean, I can fight, but I ain't that type of fighter, and it's okay. I'm not trash, but I'm not the best fighter, but I do try to be. Let's say that. And it's like, if and when it's not has a formula of Dragon Ball Fighters, that's okay. That's okay. Because, and let me just let y'all in on something. In my opinion, I personally think people who play not only play Dragon Ball Fighters, but purchase the DLC characters, whether it's $3.99 for PC or $9.99 on Sony, you should get those characters for free. Especially if you pre-order the game. But like, there should be a way where you should be able to unlock those characters, or they should be coming out. I just personally think if you play Dragon Ball Fighters Z, that's one thing. But if you buy those characters, every single one, whether it's Goku AI or Geneva or Baby, the Super Baby from GT, I personally think you get scammed. Because it's just like, I shouldn't have to pay all this money to play with these characters. That's just me. And you want to talk about Dragon Ball Fighters, but when Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, though, which has the most characters of any Budokai or Tenkaichi game that's ever been came out with, it don't even got Android 21, the professional good one or the evil one on there. But you want to talk about, get the fuck out of here, dude. Stop it.
Nigga, what?
Stop it.
Nigga, what? The
Stop
only Transformer game? He one of them niggas, bro. He one.
Now, Sparking Zero graphics are the best they've ever been.
This part, and he put the title, the controls are meh. Okay, your opinion. I can respect that.
And I applaud them for having destructible environments and trees that sway when
Did y'all see what they said?
But graphics alone.
Oh, a panel of what? Mostly Tekken, King of Fighters, which I'm a fan of, and Street Fighter, and these are all 2 games. All these games up here are 2 games. Whether it's Tekken, Street Fighter, DOA, or Tekken Fist of the North Star, I believe. I'm seeing new characters. I'm nearsighted. Please forgive me. And it's just like, and let me just say this. 2D fighting games don't have to always be the best fighting games out there. Me personally, I'm not that big of a fan of 2D fighting games. Why? It's not even because of the fact that it's 2D. It's the fact of the controls and how you gotta be doing all this crazy up, down, left, right shit just to put out a command for an attack. Like, what? And that's just me. You know, like I said, majority of people can't pull off all these combos. I got because whoop my ass in DOA. no BS. And I ain't mad at that. But it's like, come on, 2D games aren't all the best games.
Fighting games.
Bro, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not. I'm not gonna finish. There's no way I'm finishing this with you, bro. What are we doing? You're comparing Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 4 to freaking Street Fighter? A game that is focused on balance when this game is not?
And I've looked up the stuff about Street Fighter, Tekken 8 being a balanced game. And yes, it's more about being balanced, but games that are like Dragon Ball, Sparkling Zero, and the past Budokai and Tenkaichi games, they weren't focused on balance. They focused on allowing you to play with the characters you want, but still, if you want to, you gotta sacrifice some stuff. And let's be honest, and one thing I also did, if not yesterday, on Sunday, no, say 7. So, but on if I didn't do it on Monday on my first day on Sunday while I was at work, I looked at a video of a guy talking about a roster of characters that people say they're gonna use, and while watching it, going through it, he showed majority of the Super Saiyan characters that you can play with. You can't, and I'll tell you right now, you can't just play with a full roster of Super Saiyan characters or stuff like that, or you probably won't be able to. Because I played Naruto Storm 4, and if those who watch my content and watch who I face against, it's mostly people who will probably do what I'm expecting them to do, is play as the most OP or strongest character the person has reached. Pain, Sasuke, Itachi, Hiroshima, and just spam ninjutsu ultimate and think that and go work instead of actually playing the game how it's intended to play. I run across a lot of that. If you watch my videos, you know. But it's just like some people, they can't. I don't think they're gonna be able to do what they're gonna do. I'm gonna leave that there.
What are we doing? You're comparing? Not even close. What is this? He did not play the game. I don't care. There's no way.
Where Sparking Zero is extremely similar to the last several dozen Dragon Ball Arena fighters. It feels more like...
Wrong again. Good job. This series is not like Xenoverse.
And I can't back him up on what I said because, like I said earlier, I haven't played Xenoverse 1 or 2, so I wouldn't know that style. But if I were to play Sparkling Zero, once I get it, then Xenoverse, I would agree with him and say the controls aren't all the same because not everybody plays Xenoverse. I'm one of those people, and that's okay.
Xenoverse is completely different. From controls to mechanics to characters to customization, it's a completely different game. It's the exact same controllers.
Fighting and yelling. What it's like to be one of the Z fighters.
I'm just skipping it forward to where he talks about the controls, and he mentioned about the controls are meh, and how one button is for charging, but it's what he says about the controls. He says, I've written it down. It says, take my glasses off, too complex for casual players, and he says something else about technical, but I'll let y'all hear that part.
Turn elsewhere, because the controls are not great.
It's the exact same controllers.
Fighting and yelling. And Sparking Zero does have a dedicated yell button.
And that sound lets you know that he just went to the yelling button, as in Sparking Zero is called the key charge button. And again, this is just proof to show that this man who's covering this video of Gameology, you never really played a Dragon Ball Budokai game or any Dragon Ball game. Because if you have played those, you know that it has to do with key charging or some type of charge needs to happen. I mean, if you played Naruto, you know, and that's from the beginning up to connections, and even some of the other branch off Naruto games, you have to charge up for chakra to use ninjutsus or ultimate ninjutsus, which is mostly the button triangle. Some people switch it up for their play preference, but it's majority triangle. So it's just like, if you were an anime fighter person or just a person who played fighting games, you know most games that are like this have a button to charge your ki. So what the fuck are we? Weirding me out. You weirding me out.
Man,
It's just called charging yelling, bro.
cosmic pacing. Powering up freezes you.
Well,
While
duh.
your special art fills.
Okay.
And if you knew how to play games where you had to charge your ki or charge a ninjutsu, you know the moments and times when you can do it, or you can make opportunities to charge your ki. You're making it seem like charging your ki and gaining energy takes the fun out of the game. And honestly, it doesn't. It doesn't. If you really know how to play the game, you ain't tripping about small stuff like that.
Naruto.
Be vulnerable to attack.
Yeah.
Sure, that's part of DBZ, but it still makes the game feel clunky.
Not only is it part of DBZ, but it's part of every single freaking fighting game, bro. There's always gonna be a move that you need to charge. You could get punished, but the risk could be equal to the reward if you get it off. What are we doing? This nigga has never played a fighting game, let alone a Budokai Tenkaichi.
Facts. I'll back that up. Facts. He's never played a Budokai game, Tenkaichi, or any fighting game. You have it. And the only fighting games you have is the ones you talked about. Dragon Ball Fighters, Tenkaichi. No, Dragon Ball Fighters, Tekken 8, Street Fighter, King of Fighters, and other games that are just 2D. That's the only games you really talking about. So it's just like, you really can't talk. You really can't talk.
Whose footage is this? You Rick Ramstyl's footage in this game.
Here's the part. Here's the part I was saying about you talking about the controls.
But not technical enough for.
What?
And here's
He
why.
just loves 2D fighters, bro.
Controls are too complex for casuals, but not technical enough for a hardcore gamer.
Too complex for casuals, right? I got 2 points to that. I was a kid playing.
But if you didn't hear the second part, he said too complex for casual players, but not too technical for hardcore players. Whether you're a hardcore player, and this is my opinion before he goes on with his, whether you are a hardcore player or a regular casual player who don't even play fighting games like that, it's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. It's really not. And if you actually take the time to know how to play Budokai 2, 3, Tenkaichi 3, or Burst Limit, or any of the other Dragon Ball games that came out, whether it's on Xbox or PlayStation, you would know that stuff is not complicated. And when you face somebody who knows how to play the game, you gonna know that, oh, there's a different level between this person who's probably a hardcore player or a technical player. And I believe Dragon Ball Budokai, the first one, came out in 2002. I was barely like 10 or 11 years old. If not 9 going on 10, 10 going on 11. So it's like, what are we talking about? And most of the other games, from Dragon Ball Z Budokai up until Tenkaichi, Burst Limit, Raging Blast 1 and 2, those came out in my middle school years. Those came out when I was in middle school. And moving from middle school, junior high school to high school, playing these games. So if you was a fan of Dragon Ball, you would take the time to know how to play these games. And even people who played Dragon Ball's Budokai or Tenkaichi 3 or any of the other ones, they host tournaments as well. Probably not at EVO, but they host in tournaments. And same goes with Naruto, Storm 4. There's even content creators who host channels and they be winning money and stuff. So, whatever. Let's continue.
This game. A little freaking kid, from 2 to like 7 playing this game.
I'm gonna skip ahead and I'm gonna make sure to tie this video low so y'all can see it because there's another video that I want to cover.
People that have never played the game,
Still awkward.
not the same fighting format.
Ascending and descending could be streamlined.
You ain't never played games.
If you whiffed the beam because of something you did, or if you just weren't on the right plane.
You're behind the building, nigga. What?
And this is another thing.
Slow you down or change anything at all.
Oh yeah, no.
And this is another thing. If you have played Dragon Ball Budokai to Tenkaichi 3, you will know that it changes something. If it don't change the way how you move, it changes your speed of how you can charge or something like that. It does affect you. So it's just like if you I can't even take you serious for what you're saying because sometimes you can be just one of these motherfuckers just to talk shit on Sparking Zero just because you want to. Because like you haven't played. And also it can be used as an advantage as well. Let somebody, and how they do in many anime shows or fighting shows when they throw somebody down the world or throw a big blast or Final Flash or something. They'll act like they're dead, turn it back, and boom, come up, surprise them, and probably knock them out to the ground. So what are you talking about? Water can be used as a great advantage in this game.
Nope, listen. You definitely never played these games. It does change the way you charge. That's all it does. Well, that's pretty freaking big. Oh, this man go out here and speak. There's
Under Night Emperor,
this nigga's a 2D nut hugger, bro.
motion, gathering power, and pushing a button to release it. There's an emphasis on frame advantage, timing, and spacing.
Now, I will say that in some games, whether it's Dragon Ball, Street Fighter, King of Fighters, or other 2D games that he's fighting, that stuff does matter. But maybe when it came to Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero and the devs when they were making it, that's not something that they were focused on. They just want to make a good game with a lot of characters that people can play with, male or female, and just be a beat 'em up game. At the end of the day, well, I'll wait that so I say it again.
Can mean the difference between victory and defeat. It becomes more of a dance
What?
at a higher level. Meanwhile, Sparking Zero feels like you're controlling.
Have you seen high-level Budokai Tenkaichi gameplay?
And if you didn't hear what he said, have you seen high level like Tenkaichi gameplay? Because I say if y'all haven't really seen high level gameplay of people who play in Tenkaichi, Budokai, Xenoverse 1 or 2, or even Naruto Storm videos, they can play. They know how to play. So there's a difference of like high level, hardcore, and casual type of players. So one might be clunky to you, but another be like, oh yeah, brother, know he think, you know how you doing his thing. So what are you talking about?
Straight. Even the best fighting games can sometimes evolve into button mashing, but this is so counterintuitive that it borders on parody, which, hey, might be appropriate. Have you ever watched a Dragon Ball fight? It's all it sucks all the energy out of something that in the anime was deliberately paced that way to save budget. So,
Wait, hold on. Is he calling the game fast? After he just said the game was slow?
I don't know. And then there shows a monologue of a montage of Dragon Ball Z movies that came out over the years. I do think it'll be nice to play a game based off one of those movies, but that's here or there to say.
Who wrote this script and how much money did they pay?
I'll leave the video down below.
an announcer.
What?
With a harder than Yamcha?
Yes.
He well should. But that's a poor substitute for balance. Other games
No, it's not.
power differential matchups by showing
It's not though, because in ranked they literally said they're gonna have like caps or like a character cost, whatever it is. If you play Dokkan, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a cost for your team. You can't just load your team up with fusions. You have to play based on the cost. If the cost is 100 and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is 50 himself, you gotta think about how you build your team. So you might need to put one of these Joe Schmoes like Krillin on your team. You might have to put Roshi on your team. You might have to put my guy Todoroki on your team. For some reason, he's gonna have low character cost, even though he's the best character in the freaking game. But you get what I mean. Listen.
And Dragon Ball Fighter Z, like I said earlier, for a deal, they have extra characters, 44 characters or something, and any DLC character you gotta pay extra for. Sparkling Zero, you don't gotta pay for any of those characters. Even if you don't get even if you don't pre-order or buy it early or digitally to get all 182 characters, you still be able to play with 181. One character you won't be able to play with is Goku Teen GT version. So it's like, what are we talking about?
It's a game that's meant to be balanced, bro.
Touchdown characters,
That's why.
zone times,
We all love Street Fighter when it came out, sure.
Chun-Li has a different philosophy behind her than Zangief and demands a different playstyle.
Okay, so Goku has a completely different playstyle than Broly. You can make that.
Giant ape form that moved very slowly and had harder punches. But the controls are so floaty and tanky to begin with, it felt more frustrating than anything.
This nigga just sucked at the game, don't he?
One character, you've basically played them all.
Wrong.
Dragon Ball Z games might be all about fighting.
You're not gonna sit here and tell me that Whis is the same playstyle as freaking Hercule.
And I'm gonna stop it right there for that video because I definitely want to play this second video to emphasize everything that has been said about gameology. And let me get into that. I'm gonna get into my last few words. Is this the video? Oh yeah.
Can you spot what's wrong with these two Dragon Ball Z games? They showed the same scene, Goku and Vegeta battling it out in a Utah-looking desert. It's a classic clash that took DBZ into the modern era. And with it, but which one is the second most? Besides the graphics, it's almost impossible to tell. And that's a problem. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is looking to switch up the DBZ Arena Fighter formula. But the truth is, it fails to switch up the formula at all.
We don't care.
But with Dragon
And I say, like I've said before, I'm just glad that there is a Dragon Ball Z game out. I don't give a fuck if this from is the same. I don't.
Dragon Ball started using a boilerplate arena fighter template back in 2002 with the introduction of the Budokai series. The franchise has felt like it's been stuck in a hyperbolic time chamber.
And this is the part where Hisao says, "What is an arena fighter?" And I written this down. I don't have it written down. It says basically explains about how to make arena fighting games that they have to make everything more bigger because of all the explosions and stuff like that. But I will definitely link this video so you guys can watch it. There's two parts of it that so makes it funny, and where we don't want to cover.
Sparking Zero promises to be more of an exercise in nostalgia than an actual competitive fighting game.
Move this man!
Dragon Ball fans deserve better.
I don't give a fuck, man. I'm sick of you always thinking you know what's best for me, dog.
That's funny, and I'll make sure to link those two videos. The first one from Go Fury, and the second one from Josh Static. But there's also another thing that Joe Go Fury says that he mentions, and I didn't get to, and it's about how in the video gameology he's always saying about how the game, it doesn't feel different. And honestly, if you look at the past video games where they made it where you can make decisions all about like what Goku saving his son, Gohan, and much more and everything, and who sell Gohan or Trunks and his son. This is what I found on Google. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is set with a coveted what if mode, meaning integrated into its story. The trailer surrounding show scenarios. Earlier, Vegeta and Trunks face off against Final Form Cell and somebody else defeating Majin Buu, and other things like that. So if you're a person who's tired of Dragon Ball Z, don't buy this game. Don't buy Dragon Ball Z, or save it for the people who actually want to play it, and go back to playing Dragon Ball Fighters like Gameology was talking about. Because at the end of the day, my hair looking all crazy and shit. I need to cut it. At the end of the day, if you're a person that likes 2D fighting games, I ain't mad at you. But don't be mad. Don't be getting mad and say, oh, people like myself who like playing arena fighters or games like Naruto Storm 4 or many other games that are like that one, or the old Dragon Ball Budokai games, that I ain't got no skill, because I ain't trying to be doing all this stuff on my controller and just pressing fucking buttons. If I don't want to play Street Fighter 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Tekken 8, that's my prerogative. And what else did I want to show you guys the last few minutes? I have is something that I had written down earlier. Here it is. I looked up about Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero, and I found this on Google. It brought a different type of gameplay, abandoning the 3D arena fighting introduced by Budokai Tenkaichi, to instead opt for the rapid tag team approach of 2D fighters like Marvel vs. Capcom, which was very successful in the games that they made, like such as X-Men Children of Atom was released in 1994, 1996, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, that's 1996, 1998, Marvel vs. Capcom, 1999, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. And it also is information about how Capcom collaborated with Marvel Comics to be in the first series of a 2D arena fighting game that people love now, and buy the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Fighters collection, because many of these games, when I was a child, when I was a child, I saw in laundromats, people playing them in arcades or in malls, and wanted to be good as those other players. And this is the reason why I bring this up is because Dragon Ball, people who made Dragon Ball Budokai and everything were trying to recreate what Marvel vs. Capcom did. So whether they did or not, they did a very good job with Sparkling Zero. And like I said earlier, this is the official fourth installment of the Tenkaichi series. But that's all I wanted to share with you guys, and I'll let you guys know. Hopefully I can upload the videos, and I'll definitely link these two videos down below. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Weird Squad.